Hey guys, it's about 6:05 p.m. November 5th, 2020. I wanted to go over some trades and where I'm expecting the market to go to. Market's still loving the action, doesn't really care about the stalemate in the presidential election. It loves the idea of potential Biden win, I guess, with the House of Representatives, mostly Republican in there, so a dominant force. And that kind of combination, I guess, is obviously very good for the stock market. Um, Here's the SPY today, and I wanted to show you obviously the IWM is the one that we think is going to have the most juice here. The Qs obviously are the momentum play, and you definitely can't deny there was momentum in a lot of stocks today. Stocks like NIO, NIO, I mean, unbelievable with the idea that Biden's going to get in there. You had a lot of movement in electrical vehicle stocks. EV was super strong today. We broke in the wedge on the SPY. The volume wasn't as high as yesterday, but it could have just been a lack of sellers. Today's internals actually look better than yesterday, in my opinion. And IWM, I'm going to show you in a little bit, was just on fire. Interesting, too, when you look now, you got to stay long this market here. I would say if you look at it from a Fibonacci retracement, as long as you hold above the 340, 350-ish area, you can kind of see, I don't know if I hit that straight on, but let's go on the close from up there. And I'm not going to move my cursor, but you can see the 61.8% retracement right there at like 340, 330. That was actually the close of yesterday. Even though we closed at kind of the midpoint of the candle on SPY, today definitely had some really bullish follow through. So I guess there's a little trepidation on the close yesterday as to which way this might go, and the market's like, we don't really care. We like what we're seeing. And the market's going to look like it's going to make a run at the that ascending line there, not the all-time high on SPY, but the ascending line. The all-time high could come later, but I don't know if you're going to get it in this leg with the volume kind of needing a little more oomph to the upside, whereas I think IWM is going to attack and breach its recent high. So long and strong above 343.3 on the SPY. I mean, just buying everything like crazy. It seems like the market's loving what it sees. IWM, different story here. We told you this is going to be the one to watch. And look at IWM has it's already breached above its recent high, and now it's heading to all-time highs, which it has not reached, like SPY and QQQ. So they're looking to buy stuff that hasn't, really participated as strongly in the market, and the small caps seem to be where it's at right now. TNA was on fire today, super strong. And then this move that you're seeing right here is really confirmation of breaking through that high and pushing to attack the 176.56, which is the all-time high on the IWM. I don't know if it's all-time high, but it's the recent high. I forget where the all-time high was in the IWM. Maybe it was one. Let me see where it is. It's going to be recently in 5 years. 173.39 was the all-time high. So not far. I think we can get above that too as well. IWM's definitely got a weird chart compared to SPY and QQQ. So Qs, we just showed. Did we show you the Qs? QQQ, obviously, where the momentum is at. If you look at it on the Fibonacci, the Qs is like everything today. Even internally trading stocks was following a Fibonacci movement. We closed just above the 78.6 at 294, and my numbers might be off a hair, but 294.11 was the 78.6 retracement. Did not get above its recent high, like the IWM, and did not get above its all-time high here at 303.5 on the triple Qs. Stocks that I've been trading, LI was my pony instead of NIO, and that's still moving really strong. NIO I'm just a little bit worried about, but man, you can see I shorted NIO a few times today for some scalps, and it would have been easier just to go long NIO. But LI continues to move higher, even in after hours. I got a little position there. I accumulated some BABA, so I'm in the green now, just slightly, I think, now in after hours. And then you can kind of see too on the QQQ, our line that we had, this Fibonacci retracement at the 78.6 was like literally the line of the day where it was just kind of gravitating towards. If it pulled back, it wanted to get up. If it pushed through, it's almost like a magnet. It just wants to keep tagging that 294.11 area on the triple Qs. Tomorrow, man, I don't know. I think we have a big gap. You're going to have to settle in a little bit. It's going to have to pull back in a little bit and kind of probably want to pull back into the 294-ish area Can we go up and hit those all-time highs? Yeah, I think we can. I think we're on our way there. But I don't know whether I would chase a gap in the morning. I really think the market's getting a little bit overextended on the hourly and the daily. We probably have a little bit more room. Theme stocks are super strong though. Like I said, the electric vehicle stocks, I have a big position in AYRO. Hoping one day that'll do a move like, actually hit my target was 306. So I don't know. Not as pretty on the other ones. We're looking at just to get to a 359 on a 38.2 retracement. But my ultimate target would be to go break probably somewhere around the 530 area. Would set this to the upside a lot higher, but I don't know whether they're going to get there anytime soon. But since it's making a nice long base here, we just need more volume. Everything else is set up. MACD looks good. We're just sitting under the negative. I mean, we're getting a little bit of a crossover. If we could just push positive, get some volume behind it, RSI is looking decent. I don't know, it's just like a hidden gem. They're actually profitable. AYR and the electric, more of a commercial utility. Slower, not a road-driven vehicle, more of a utility vehicle. But it did hold the 200, even with the market pullback, kind of based around there. Now we're getting a little bit of love. Just like to see it get above this 350 area to hold. It's just, it's just really range-bound between the 250 and 350. So at least we're moving in the right direction. I already gave you Baba, JD, all-time highs. Qualcomm. Told you a while ago, man, don't sell in the 120s here. I said, don't let this shake you out. This has a lot higher to go. Sure enough, earnings report, they crushed it. Boom. 148.80 today. I sold a position at 148.20, I think. And I'm looking to probably try to add back into it. But if we look at this on an intraday 2-day 10s, I'll take it 2-day 10s. Get the big stretch gap at the earnings call, and then kind of a little bit of a dump in the morning, which was a little weird. The intraday action, let me change the candle style, was a little surprising on Qualcomm. Actually, if we show 1 minute candles in there, you're going to see how it was kind of weird that on that earnings news, I guess the overnight had moved so much that they just dumped it, and then they bought the heck out of it, got over the morning high, boom, pulled back, kind of consolidated. It looks like it wants to kind of drift a little bit lower. Let some profit takers get out of the way. I don't know if there's any IPOs tomorrow, but we'll check that out. And then morning as well. Any other stocks that we've been looking at? Shop was on fire. And Shop looks like it can go higher, but it's getting a little bit overdone now. 904 was my price target on the downside. I've been shorting this left and right, and it was being very successful. I probably should have gone long at the 904 area. I was happy that I got out of my short at 904, and that was not in the last 3 days. I think that was Monday, was it? I know it hit 904 because I shorted it and covered at 904. Yes, 898 was the low. And I don't even know how that number. Let's look at where that number came from, because that line hit perfectly. That was, wow, spot on. That was the kind of the intermediate uptrend line here. Interesting. But yeah, that was the channel low from the pivot breakdown from this trend to the upside. Pull back break, little hit area there, boom, back up. It was a parallel trend line from the channel there. And wow, that hit spot on. I think maybe I wasn't wanting to take my chances, and I got out at 904. I probably should have gone long, but I was probably on to something else. But now it looks like we're headed up to the descending channel line, which is in the 1050s. Not sure I can do it in this leg. We are really stretched out here. Look at this move in 3 days. Tremendous move from 909 to 1040. Wow, well, nice move there. We'll see how that goes, but definitely wants to tag these channel lines here for sure. The volume's a little, look at the downdraft volume on the sell-off and the earnings compared to the uptrend volume now. It's literally half of the selling volume. So that could be a good thing or a negative thing. The negative part is that anybody that was stranded up here who didn't sell will probably sell once we get back up to that level. Obviously, this candle is going to give us some horizontal resistance. But sometimes when you see big selling like that, like you did in this area here, it frees up the overhead for movements higher. Like, hey, 2 big candle days here, everybody's out. Okay, let's run this thing to the upside. So it could be the same thing here. The company's been pretty strong on the news front, other than the earnings dump. I don't know. Shop would be a great one to buy at the 20 SMA on a pullback, or the exponential moving average on a pullback. But to chase it tomorrow morning, unless you have a stop in there, would probably be a little bit sketchy. DraftKings now is kind of back into the channel and moving to the upside. Stock has not acted well, but here's the weird thing about DraftKings. It had a very definitive channel. And then I sold out at 57, and I had some people like kind of give me crap because we bought in like what, the 35s and 36s. Got out at 57. They're like, oh man, you left some money on the table there. And then it started creating a new channel. Then we broke down below the 57 and then broke below the momentum channel right here. And then it was a big downward move from there. You had to cross over the 2050. And now you're starting to curl back up. And we literally tagged the 50-day moving average today. I've been using a 45, I think. Spot on. You can see there with the candle wick on the 45. So who knows what tomorrow can bring. You have 4 strong days on DraftKings. And you're kind of getting into a little bit of a congestion area in here that would look like some indecision. So not sure, but DraftKings might be an interesting play tomorrow if it gaps to do a short on it. It seems to be very volatile intraday on DraftKings, so it's more of a, I don't know. I think it's okay to buy because if you look at it from let's look at the 1 year on DraftKings. But if you look at the intraday, man, it has a lot of crazy moves. Let's finish up with that real quick. Look at the intraday moves on DraftKings. I mean, it's so volatile. You're getting up to 42, back down to 41.23. It's never very gradual and consistent, very choppy. So if we gap up tomorrow on DraftKings, I'm probably going to take a short in it. It looks like it's already kind of drifting lower in after hours. Not because I don't like the company. I love the company. I just think it became a huge momentum play and got overdone. And then when the news came out with all this COVID stuff, it really put it in a bad position. So from horizontal support, you have this huge area of consolidation in DraftKings before the big move up. Kind of in this area here where we started to break down. And then you have this big push to the upside. I don't know why my thing is so picky there. So you have this kind of a consolidation here with an upward trend. And then it starts to move. And as you get the gradual move, then you get the sharp move to the upside. And now we're kind of back into a little bit of that consolidation area. And if you look at this from this little channel that we started to move up, the pivot break point, if we draw a line from, let me show you really quick, from this downward trend in here on DraftKings, that break point, other than this big candle here, I guess you'd probably move that down a little bit, seems to be right around this candle in here, around 36. And that's kind of where we came back down to and tagged, and then you see buying energy increasing, which is what we'd like to see. So I think DraftKings looks like it's bottomed out in the short term. Obviously, it hit the 200-day moving average there. I mean, can't get any better than that. But now we're back up against the channel bottom, which now is the channel top for resistance. But if we even move that up a little bit and change the candle style, you'll see that we closed right on that line there, and we're kind of drifting a little bit lower in after hours. So if we gap this up, and it can't hold the 50 tomorrow, I'm thinking this might be an interesting short. But mostly we want to be long this market. We don't want to be messing around too much short on this market. Another one, Unity Software. This is one I've liked for a while, IPO. This one's been a little bit all over the place, but the trend is continuing higher. No doubt about it. Nice and clean and green to the upside. So that one looks good. And like I said, NIO has just been on fire lately. Let's look at NIO. If they gap NIO up tomorrow, I might short that as well. It's already hit my price target, 43.48. And I did that. Look how this has followed kind of some Fibonacci extensions from the base breakout on NIO. You can kind of see here, 161.8% extension. And you don't have to look at it that way, but this is the way I like to look at it. Then you go up to the 261, boom, stops on a dime. And now you're heading up to the 423.6% at 43.48. It's already there if you see in after hours. It'll be interesting to see if it can hold much above there tomorrow. If you look at the RSI, the volume is definitely there. Increasing volume to the upside. It can't replicate the volume of the breakout. So the RSI is probably going to go back up and get into the 87, 88 like it's done before, because now we're back above your prior RSI here. And it looks like it wants to extend further. I tried a couple shorts in there. A couple were positive. I actually went long one time and made some money in NIO. Just kept waiting for NIO to roll and it wouldn't, man. Every time I was short and I got into a profit area, I would put in a stop, and you could just see the buying on weakness was relentless. It was non-stop buying on weakness in NIO. So two ways to play it. We gap up in the morning. I might short scalp it. If it comes in weak, I'll look for a base entry to go higher with a price target of 43.48. Obviously, we're going above that in after hours. Who the hell knows? This thing could gap up to 45, 46 tomorrow, but I don't think, given the extension we've seen on the hourly, that this can hold that price point. So we'll see how that goes. This market looks super strong though. QDEL, one we've loved forever. This and Facebook we've had in the buy and hold. And look at that move that we had. Let's get rid of all this mumbo jumbo down here. And you can see we bought QDEL on this pullback here, and then, you know, even above the pop of the wedge, they came out with a huge gap down, and then it started to curl, and then we popped out of this little bull flag wedge to the upside, and then boom, exploding now, looking like its highest close since that pullback gap down. I mean, we look good here on QDEL. Earnings were blowing out, 578, monster move to the upside. This looks like it can run at the all-time high. So once again, am I going to chase it here? I don't know. I mean, there's still wiggle room in the RSI. The volume was super strong today. It looked really good. RSI still plenty of room. We're getting ready to do another MACD cross. Not quite there yet. That downdraft really did a lot of technical damage on QDEL. Still haven't curled above there, but definitely have a little bit of a clean break on a channel here on QDEL for sure. You can kind of see the channel is like this right in here. Whoop-de-doo. Like that. There's your little breakup, consolidation pullback, and then boom. Couldn't even get to the 45, but maybe this moves more with the 50. I'm not going to change that. So QDEL is looking strong too as well. QDEL looks like it wants to make a run at the all-time highs. And I like how it didn't make a super huge volume move on the old all-time high. The biggest move that it ever made was the big giant gap pullback here. I forget the reason was for that. It had something to do with their COVID fast test, if I'm not mistaken. But the companies I told you before is more than a one-trick pony. Zoom, I didn't trade that. I haven't traded that recently at all. I haven't even looked at that. Let's clear out this crap and see what Zoom looks like. Zoom, I liked Zoom in here, and then ever since this little false breakdown, I think I lost money on this trade here. Looked so strong. I love this move here. Then pulled back, and then it looked like it was going to make another move. Man, they gapped it from the open and nothing but selling, 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 selling. 5 days of relentless selling in Zoom before it curled back up. So this, believe it or not, actually looks like a better short than even shop once it gets back up to that zone. Tough call. I mean, fundamentally, if Biden's locked in here, we might get another shutdown of the economy, and Zoom is probably going to get a little bit of love. So let's just focus on the long stuff here, guys. I don't know if I want to mess with these shorts, but the old ascending trend line is obviously going to give some resistance in Zoom in the 514 area, so keep an eye on that. Bitcoin, GBTC on the pink slip. I don't know why this is on the pinks, but this thing is got enough volume. Clean price action here. Look at this. More textbook technical channel movements here. Pivot break to the upside. Boom, boom, boom. Intraday breach. Never closes below the channel line. And look at this move on Bitcoin. Even if we do a channel line like there. Man, look at that. We should probably move it with this channel here. And you can kind of see the failed breaks and then the pivot break. So let's do it like that. So there's your channel lines on Zoom if you ask, or on GBTC, which is the Bitcoin Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. You've had a few opens above this channel line, and you could say, well, Henry, that's not on the candles. Well, it's not on the candles because none of them close anywhere near. You have an open and then fail. Open above the candle line and fail. So I don't even look at these two candles because those resulted in big moves to the downside. So to me, this is the channel. There's the one that touches right there. And then you can see the clear break. Look at that hitting right on there. Perfect, spot on. Pull back, hit it again and close right on the trend line. See that and close right there, close right there. And then man, huge gap today on massive volume. So where is Bitcoin going on GBTC? I don't know. Let's look at the 2-year on Bitcoin. It's above the other high, the old all-time high there, I believe. Where did we close at? Did we close right at the high? No, we closed about 3/4 on the candle. Yeah, I mean, it's just above. Bitcoin can be a little weird, though. And if you guys have ever traded this intraday, you could literally get a positive move to the upside and then just snap your neck back. So I don't trust this move on Bitcoin as far as, like, do I want to buy in here and hold? I don't know. That's a pretty strong move, though. Pretty impressive move on Bitcoin. But you're definitely getting into some overextension on the RSI. Look at that. Across the board. I mean, how many times did we hit there? We hit it here and pulled back big time. We hit it here and pulled back to a consolidation. We hit it here and pulled back, and now we're actually above that. It's pretty strong. Not as strong as the volume here. So I don't know about Bitcoin. Kind of feel like if you're not in it here already with a trail, I don't think we touch it. It's a little extended here. But that's a positive move for sure. Where can it go? We'd have to probably look at some prior price history on Bitcoin. My target on GBTC would probably be just under $20 a share. If you want to play a momentum game on GBTC, just under 20 bucks a share. But then where's your stop going to be at? You know, you need a 2-to-1 ratio, I think. Man, you'd have to really put the stop on the trend line, trend line break, so somewhere around 1580. So it doesn't really pay to play Bitcoin to the upside unless you go small and you got a stomach. So Boeing, financials have been strong. I'm getting a little long-winded here, guys. Sorry. JNUG, you know, the funny thing about gold is that, let's look at, because this is leverage, let's look at GDXJ, which is what JNUG tracks anyway. Gold is a tricky animal, and I was talking to one of my subscribers, a friend of mine the other day, and we talked about this recent drop in gold. And I said gold will sometimes bottom out at the worst technicals possible. Oil's the same way. So right when you're ready to throw in the towel on things like oil and gold, commodities are weird the way they trade. And we did break a channel line there, and I don't believe we closed below this channel line here, but we did break it intraday, and we got back above it. But I told him that that I bought some JNUG at the ugliest part of the chart, and if we remove this other crap in here, well, I'm not going to remove it because I want to keep it up there, but it looks like we have kind of bottomed out in gold here, but I'm not sure how high you can get on like a GDXJ here. We're definitely coming into some areas of resistance, and we had a nice stretch point up into here. I'm not sure why I drew these yellow lines here, but you could be hitting some longer term channels, it looks like here that I was drawing. Here, and then maybe in here. So maybe the play is if you miss this boat on GDXJ, if we get up in the 61s, maybe we take a little trade in dust for a pullback. But we'll have to see how that goes. Financials have been looking okay with this move that we've seen. I mean, they're just deadbeat anyway, but at least we're channeling on the high end once again. Weird channels on the financials. Nothing really broke below the channel lines on a close. We've had plenty of breaches intraday in this recent sell-off. Nothing closed below the channel line, and now we look like we're heading back up to the upper end of the channel line. RSI was looking ugly. As soon as we made this head fake move up here, I said it had to hold this area, and it didn't. It broke back down, and then now you have another move back above on the RSI. So I don't know, MACD is looking meh, like okay. I don't know if financials are really the place to be at. But given the momentum we have, looks like we can probably go back up and tag the upper channel there. So if you like to play FAS on pullbacks, I don't see a problem with that. Not my favorite setup there. I think let's close it out there, guys. Like I said, I'm going to bore you guys with all this. I'm getting a little long-winded here. ARRY was a recent one that we did. I was watching that in SEDG today. I don't know why I have these charts up right now like this. I don't want to look at that. Let's look at SEDG. It was holding that 200 area, and then today made a huge move. Let's look at the 3-day 20s on SEDG. And then if you guys have any stocks want me to look at in the comments column, just let me know. So yeah, the line of death on a close seemed to be the 202 area on SEDG, and it did not break that. And then today, it was in fuego, up 27 points or 13%. Monster move. Did not expect that out of SEDG today. But that was a nice move for sure. Did not trade that today. Missed that one. One that I did trade, my only loss for today was KXIN, and we'll close on that. We'll close on something negative, unfortunately. KXIN intraday really pissed me off because I thought this had potential. And I took a loss on this because it just did nothing out of the gate but drop. I had some channel lines drawn in this. I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, yeah, KXIN, I really thought it could hold. Let's put the fib with the, let's put the intraday with the VWAP up there. Actually, load VWAP. Yeah, this did nothing today. This was very frustrating on KXIN. Once it broke VWAP, I thought we'd at least hold the pivot here. I think that's what I did. I think I traded and literally got just slammed right away. I think I played one at the VWAP and I got stopped out, and then I think I tried another one again at the break pivot in here where the volume really started to pick up. I think I did buy this at like 459 and took a loss on it. I even gave myself a little bit of room to the downside, and it just couldn't do anything. I just kept getting stopped out. So big volume sell right at the get-go. I mean, they just dumped it. It was like institutional holders or anybody that's been in the stock for a while was waiting, saying, okay, you guys want to play with this pre-market? That's fine. Look at the volume pre-market. It was like, okay. Which wasn't shabby pre-market. It was making nice moves. Just nice textbook patterns on the pre-market to the upside once it started to get back above this 473 area. Nice move, steady move to the upside. Little consolidation frame in here, and you thought maybe this thing's going to fire right out of the gate. You know, once it held this area here, held it again in pre-market, and then people were like, all right, I'm out. They wanted volume, and they got it. So, unfortunately, that one stopped me out. It was not good. CVS, I wanted to buy a little bit, but I want to wait for a pullback. But I think earnings is tomorrow morning. And Facebook, we give you this one as a buy and hold recently on this massive pullback that we saw on the 1-year daily. And let me see here if we can remove this. You can see that we pulled back up nicely from one of our channel lines here in the 247 area. And now you have a 50-point move to the upside. And this is one that I thought looked like it has a lot of room to go higher. But just with all the news and everything, all the overhead news on I talked about, once that just kind of dissipates, I think this stock goes a lot higher. I don't know, we'll see. I'm definitely going to have a hard time getting into all-time highs in this leg here on Facebook. Just be a little careful. Facebook can get a little bit whippy. But nice little move from the channel move where we talked about buying it, especially for guys that are buying holds. I already sold out of this. I don't own any Facebook right now. But I think it looks like it wants to go pull back to the, I don't know. We probably already hit a high. If it goes up tomorrow, I don't think it's going to hold it. So just word to the wise. If it gaps, I may short it for a scalp and look for a consolidation before it attacks and breaches the 304 to the upside. I think it can do it. I just think it needs more time to pull back up and do that. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.